So one of your revenue strategies, obviously YouTube platform pay. How is that? Is that enough to justify the amount of effort you put in, or
we can't be saying rubbish? We have to be very legitimate, otherwise we won't get sponsorship. And that's probably a reason that I still wanted to learn new skills.
What's the typical charge, or does the brand just tell you what they're going to pay? Do you have like a charge rate, or try to build in a framework somehow to gain some revenue? And it doesn't have to be like selling courses or things. There are so many ways
but anybody who knows the framework like you will be able to make it out that what this person is doing.
Yeah, hello. Welcome back to MoneyWise Doctor channel. Here we talk about how healthcare professionals, doctors, dentists, nurses, and obviously other healthcare professionals can make the best financial decisions. But we also do other things like bringing in doctors who are out there doing interesting things. So today, I've got a bit of a surprise for you. I'm being joined by an interesting gentleman, Dr. Suman Paul, who is a respiratory, I think I can say, a respiratory registrar, about to become a consultant actually, but he does more than that. He runs a YouTube channel called Suman Paul, where he shares good, useful insights for IMG doctors, and recently he has also been talking about finance and investing. So you're welcome, Dr. Paul.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you for having me and inviting me for your talk show. And it's a pleasure to be on the show because you and me, we had a brief chat before starting the show today, and we share the same passion. So
excellent.
We are passionate about finance, financial independence, and taking control of our money. So it's a pleasure to be on this show today.
Welcome. I start by apologizing because I don't know if I've pronounced your name correctly, but hopefully you can introduce yourself properly. I know you are ST7, almost a consultant actually, and that takes a lot of hard work, and for you to combine it to what you're doing with your YouTube channel is very impressive. Can you give us a proper introduction of yourself and how you started what you're doing?
Yeah, I think I'll use this opportunity to practice for my consultant interviews to give a brief introduction about myself.
Let's do that.
So I'm a ST7 respiratory and general medicine trainee in Liverpool, Merseyside region of the northwest of England. So this is actually my last month of training, and I actually received my ELCP outcome today, this afternoon.
Oh wow!
So I'm a bit fired up now.
You should be celebrating. I didn't know I should have brought like a drink to celebrate.
Yeah. So my full-time job is as a registrar, and I've been through this pathway for last 5 years. Because I started training, so it used to be 5 years, ST3 to ST7, and that's my full-time job. So I'm a full-time doctor who does few other hustles, and UPB is one of my longest running hustle. It has been going on for more than 3 years now.
3 years.
Apart from that, I actually came from India to UK.
I just want to take a minute to thank you for what you've done. Yes, you watching this channel. Now, let me tell you what it is. So this channel has grown at an amazing rate. It has grown at an amazing rate from 0 to over 1,400 subscribers just within 4 months of launching it. Now, this is beyond my wildest imagination. And when we launched a few months ago, I thought it might take us a couple of years, maybe 3 years, to even cross the 1,000 mark. So thank you. However, something really fascinating has come to my notice, and I thought I should share it with you. I've come to see from our YouTube analytics, from our numbers from the back end, that 70% of you who watch this channel regularly and listen to the MoneyWise Doctor podcast are yet to hit that subscribe button, that precious subscribe button on our YouTube channel. You see, when I first made this call a few weeks ago, it was about 75%. So thanks to you, the number has dropped from 75 to 70 just over the past few weeks, and I'm grateful. Well, our target is to get to 50%. If we can get 50% of the regular watchers subscribed, that would be fantastic. And I want to speak to the other 70%. While I thank the 30% who have already subscribed, to the other 70%, my question is, why haven't you subscribed? Tell me in the comments. And if you like what you're watching right now, please, can you hit the subscribe button? go ahead, smash the subscribe button. So thank you for watching, and now let's jump back to this episode.
So I did my basic training in India, then came here. So that's one of the reasons that I started this YouTube channel, because I share my experience, as simple as that. That's the easiest thing to do. Talk about yourself, because you don't need to do a lot of research.
Yes.
And you will agree now, because you have started your YouTube channel as well.
Yes.
So yeah, so that's what I am.
That is brilliant. That is amazing. I mean, I like your story. You've come to the UK. You've come from India after doing your basic training. You did your medical training, your basic training. Then it's obvious you've gone in at MRCP level. Like you started in an MRCP because you did 5 years. So that tells me you've gone at MRCP level. Yeah, you mentioned something about talking about yourself. Obviously it's easier. I can't start telling people about how to build a multi-billion-dollar tech company, because I haven't built a multi-billion tech company, but I can talk about investing and getting financial freedom and all of that, or working as a doctor and investing. So could you tell me a bit more? What inspired you to start producing videos? I mean, for other people, you've got 13,000, is it 14,000 raving fans?
14.5, yeah.
14,500, and in 3 years, that's quite a major feat. So what led you to that angle? Were you already in YouTube or social media, or had you done any bit of camera work in the past? Most doctors shy away from things like this.
Yes. So Andy, I started my channel at the peak of the COVID epidemic, and at that point in time, of course, we doctors, we are always, our lifestyle didn't change a lot. We were doing our hospital job and everything.
Yes.
But people were hooked onto online videos, and any content creator around that time, they kind of really blown out at that point. So, and of course, we were always looking at making some extra income. And I think there was a data that came out. I heard recently in one of the videos that if you are really rich, maybe millionaires, you need around 7 sources of income. So some kind of survey of amongst millionaires. So the idea was to develop a new source of income, and just to try out different things. So I just did a video on my phone, really simple and really bad video.
On your phone, so you didn't need to buy any new cameras or gadgets?
No, nothing. So, and eventually for 2-3 months, nothing happened. But suddenly that video started getting views. It wasn't a good video, but eventually it ended up like more than 50,000 views in a matter of 1.5 years.
50,000
So when I saw that I am getting views, so then I started doing regular videos. And even with the job, at that point it was, we are a small family, just me and my wife.
Yes.
So you could get some time over the weekend, despite having your on call and everything. You could produce videos. Maybe you'll miss every 5-6 weeks, maybe you'll miss 1 or 2 weeks, which is not ideal for a YouTube career, but it was still okay. So, and it took me around exactly 1 year to get monetized. So 1,000 subscriber and 4,000 watch hour.
Wow.
And at that point, I didn't have any strategy in mind. I didn't have any business plan in mind. It was just putting out videos.
You were just getting going, doing it, and just going.
Exactly. The idea was that if it works out, if the YouTube thing works out, that's good. If it doesn't work out, at least I will get a skill like maybe talking in front of a camera, telling a story, making a presentation. Those skills are something that is transferable. I mean, if you teach your junior doctor in hospital, those skills do help. So these are transferable to every doctor. These are common skills to every one of us. So that kept working, and I kept doing the videos because it feels good. Like when you get views on videos, when you get comments, it's a really good feeling.
Absolutely. And you had a video that did 50,000 views. That's quite high up there. But beyond that, I think you mentioned your first video. You felt it was a bad video. I think my videos are still somehow because I've not looked too much into cameras, thumbnails, and all that. But there's a reason why you're attracting the people you're attracting. I think it's because of the content and the message is relevant. The kind of person who are viewing your videos is really quite useful to them. Can you tell me a bit more in terms of the audience, how they find you and the sort of people that find your channel and what they are usually out looking for?
Yeah, so this is something that from my experience I can share with anybody who's planning on doing any social media content, Instagram, YouTube. The first thing is you need consistency. Now I'm not consistent, but if you are serious about it, you should be consistent because you will get rewarded by the algorithm.
I think you're pretty consistent when I look at your videos. I think you've done a good job, Paul. Yeah, give yourself some credit.
So consistency is the first thing. If you put out bad videos every week, people will watch your videos. This is a guarantee. That's how the system works. The next thing is you have to learn about the idea of catching people's attention. Now, I didn't know about this, but the reason I know about this is my first brand sponsorship. The brand sent me a kind of a flow chart that if you have to do a video, you have to do it in this content. This is the format.
Okay.
So a hook, introduction, then talking about the product, and then call to action. So this is the rough idea. So the hook is very important because again, this is not a recent study. This is it's all around social media that the Gen Z or the young people of this generation, their attention span is less than that of a goldfish. So less than 8 seconds. So you have 7 to 8 seconds to hook a person in your video. If you can't do that in first 7 to 8 seconds, they are gone. So you can have the best video in the world, but nobody's watching it. So they have scored past your video.
Absolutely. When you say Gen Z, it makes the average the youngest demographic in my YouTube, they're usually like 25 and above, and maybe the oldest might be 60. And when you say that hook is really quite important. But because I've come to, before I started content creation as in video, because I've blogged, I've done copywriting, I've sold things online, I knew that if you were writing, you needed a headline, you needed a hook, you needed all that.
Yeah.
Obviously, that helped me when I was transferring to video, but it's not exactly the same. So how did you learn how to start doing all those hooks and sort of like carry on? Did you have to do a training or course, or you just kept watching on YouTube and learning or self-taught?
Self-taught and watching on YouTube. So I have my favorite YouTubers. There are people I follow, and there are people I copy as well.
Okay.
So they're not doctors. The people I copy, they're not doctors. So my viewers will probably not be watching those videos.
Okay.
So they're completely different content, completely different format. But you learn from people, you learn from other people. Of course, there is a way of attending training. There are courses. You can spend your money, but I have never done that. The reason is, the way I think about YouTube is any money that comes from YouTube goes to YouTube. I never spend my salary money on YouTube. I've never done that in 3 years. So not a single pound of my salary has gone to YouTube. So I don't pay for video editors. I know if my videos will be better if I pay for it, but I don't do it. It's a principle that I follow, that money I earn from salary that goes to my household. Money that comes from YouTube goes to YouTube. As simple as that.
This is I love it because basically you have a plan. You have a clear strategy, because the problem is when people approach content and they're thinking they want to get results, but they don't have a clear plan. Your clear plan is that I make money from my regular work, it's going to go into my household, it's going to go into my investing for my future. But if I get money from YouTube, then I can use it to improve the YouTube video. And it's gotten you to 14,000 subscribers. Many people give up before they hit 1,000 subscribers. I think we hit our first 1,000 subscribers in the first 3 months, but it felt really hard. And also, just hitting the first 1,000 subscribers is not enough. hitting that 4,000 hours. But that takes me to something. I don't know if we're friends on LinkedIn, and you see there's a framework that I developed that I promote. I think that content creators should use, because not everyone might get to where, you got to monetization in 1 year. Some people never get to monetization, and I tend to talk about the NEURO framework. So I tend to suggest that medical content creators should not wait till they get the views, and we've discussed elements of it before in the past, before I actually developed it into a full framework. I can tell you about it, and then tell me what you think about it as an experienced YouTuber, because you've got 3 years experience now and you're still in the game. How does that sound?
Yeah, go on.
Right. So this NEURO framework, it looks at like NEURO, NEURO. I know you are a pulmonologist, you're a chest physician, and as you know, I'm a GP, so I'm not going to go into NEURO at all. It's just an acronym. Yeah. So NEURO, N is for niche. So you find your niche, you find your 1,000 true fans. You're not chasing everybody. You're not trying to be on TikTok to get attention from everybody. And you can be on TikTok, but you know who your niche is. That small niche, or even a big niche, is more important and more powerful to build than going after everyone. And I think you've applied it to your channel as well. You've got a niche, you're targeting doctors, usually IMGs and all that, especially IMGs that have come from India like you as well. So that's niche. N. So E is looking at external sort of like sources of income rather than platform income, because basically YouTube is quite a grind, isn't it? Lots of people never get to monetization, and even if you get monetization, you still need to keep pumping out things. And then there's the U is your unfair advantage. In your own case, Dr. Suman, you've got an unfair advantage. You and IMG, you've worked in 2 countries, you're about to become a consultant, so you know what you're talking about. You've not written PLAB, or you've written PLAB, you know MROCP. Someone who has not passed through this process does not stand a chance. You will not be able to connect with your audience. And then there's R. So R is basically thinking about revenue strategy. So things like, how am I going to make money? I understand your channel. I've looked at your channel, because I look at some creators, they've got like 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, and they don't have this framework in place. And then they complain about not making any serious money. But I looked at your channel, you've got a clear understanding. So that revenue strategy is thinking about other sources of revenue. So, I know it sounds like the E, but the E is actually email list, building an email list, because that is also part of the revenue strategy. And then O is other avenues like collaborations, just like what we're doing now. So what do you think of that framework? How are you applying? I'm sure it has something similar. You're not depending only on platform income from YouTube.
No, but I really love your framework, because I think in short, it covers the whole strategy of YouTube that anybody should have.
You see, I've not come to it because I'm a YouTuber. I've come to it because I'm an entrepreneur and run a business.
Right.
But it seems to me like you're applying some of it already.
Yeah, and running a YouTube is like a business. If you are in YouTube for money, then it's like running a business. And this is the perfect framework, because I know it now from experience. When I started my first video, I had no idea about this.
Yes.
But now, 3 years down the line, R is becoming very important to me. And a lot of strategies and things that I've been following in last 6 months to 1 year, R is a very big part of that. It's not very evident, but anybody who knows the framework, like you will be able to make it out that what this person is doing.
I love what I love about you each time we chat is your honesty, because I see some doctors and healthcare professionals creating content, and it's a little hard to make headway when it's not that they're not honest, but they say, oh, I'm just making the content to help people to put the information out there, but then behind the scenes they're complaining that they're not making any money from it. But if you're honest about what you want to do, you're providing value, you deserve to get some. Lots of people watch your videos, it clears their confusion, just like lots of people watch our videos of MoneyWise Doctor. Our recent video, we had like almost 700 people who, it was watched by about 1,500 people, but about 700 people used it to claim back taxes, and at least 4 or 5 within 24 hours emailed me or sent me a message to say they claimed up to £10,000 in tax relief, basically. So your videos as well. Imagine someone sitting in India or in Pakistan or even Nigeria, anywhere in the world, and they're thinking, can I move to UK? Can I really, do I have to do PLAB? And then there's this gentleman on the screen telling them step by step. So you're providing value, and I think it's a good idea to figure out how to get paid, because if you get paid, then you'll be able to justify it. In my case, to my board of directors, that's my wife and my toddler, I have to explain to them why I'm spending so much time looking in front of cameras. What do you think about that?
Yeah, because like you mentioned, that a lot of YouTubers or social media personality, they're not very upfront about what they're looking to gain out of it. And I have seen people, doctors, IMG doctors, who always portray that they are helping out people, they want to help other people. They're not in the game anymore. The reason is the amount of hard work it needs. If you are not getting something out of it, you can't continue.
Yeah.
So you need to have that revenue plan at the back end, because otherwise you can't continue. And this is not a 1 year, 6 months, 2 year game. You just have to keep going. So you don't need to just wait for a 1 million subscriber and become a millionaire.
No.
Even at 5,000 subscriber, you need to figure out how to get that £30 a month to pay off your broadband bills. Absolutely. So that's how you think about it.
Absolutely.
And only then you can last 10 years, because the people who have gone to 1 million, they have not been there in 2 years. So they have spent 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. So you need a plan. You need a plan to justify why you are spending this time.
Yes, especially as a doctor, your time is really valuable, isn't it? Like we see people like Ali Abdal, who has a big YouTube following, over 5 million now. But he started this like 7 years, 8 years ago. And now as you go higher in your job, like you become a consultant, probably if you were to be locuming or doing something, at least your time should be at least £150 per hour or whatever it is consultants charge for locum. And even if you didn't locum, you spend the time with your family or rested. So the amount of time invested into coming up with a title, when people look at it from far, it looks that simple, but now, having done so many videos, and you've had videos that have hit 50,000, 70,000 views, the amount of sheer hard work that goes into it. So what I tend to suggest is, if you're going to do that hard work, and I agree with you, try to build in a framework somehow to gain some revenue. And it doesn't have to be like selling courses or things. There are so many ways. Can we apply that NEURO framework? Let's look at there's something I call neuroimaging that I do for medical content creators, especially those of them that are trying to apply the framework. So we do this neuroimaging. We look at how we can actually apply it. So we'll go to your station now, and if you're watching this, you definitely want to check out Paul Suman. So it's Paul, but it sounds like Paul Suman. You want to check out his channel. It's really, really fantastic channel for doctors, healthcare professionals, particularly if you're an IMG doctor. He has some really, really useful insights there, both career, finance, and many things. But let's look at the channel now. We'll start with the NEURO framework. Niche. What's your niche? What niche are you targeting?
So the niche was Indian doctors who are planning to come to the UK.
Okay. But now they are in the UK.
They're in the UK. So slowly it expanded. So that was the initial group. And then I started making videos. Of course, some of them are in UK now.
Yes.
So they will have other interests. They will have other burning problems.
Yes.
How to apply for a visa, how to apply for your naturalization,
then
how to apply for a British passport, citizenship.
Yes. How to bring a relative to visit.
Yeah, exactly. How to bring your parents to UK, applying for a visitor visa.
How to buy your first house.
Yes, that's part of the finance niche as well. But when I started making the video, I didn't have any long-term plan in mind. I just say, well, I just need a topic. Okay, let's get this topic and put a video out. And then I realized at some point, when I look at the top performing videos, I'm seeing that it's a visa video that is the top ranking video.
Oh, wow.
And those videos bring in a lot of money because they are watching the UK. So the CPM, cost per mile, of those videos are very high.
So I've been here talking about investing and finance, which is what I love talking about, and I'll talk about maybe for the next 70 years. Maybe I should have been talking about how to get a visa.
Yeah, I mean, you actually never know this unless you do it, isn't it?
Yes. So that's your niche. We know your niche. Your niche is basically doctors. Some of them are abroad, some of them are in UK, but it's your niche. Obviously, niche can grow. Sometimes, like my niche now might be people talking about personal finance. Along the line might be people building businesses, and then people who have sold their business and figuring out how to invest. But your niche can grow with you, and that seems to be what's happening in your channel. Your niche is growing with you, but at least you have a niche. So that's N in the NEURO framework. N. Then E, email list. I gave you 100% on this when I looked at their channel months ago, and I've just seen a doctor who's got like almost 25,000 subscribers, big creator, working hard, and he had 0 over 10 in this email list. So it's NEURO framework, NEURO. You've scored an N. Tell me about your email list strategy and why it's so important.
So Andy, I don't have an email list. It is very important.
I think I saw something the last time we talked. I think I saw a link somewhere on your channel.
I have my email. I have a email attached to my channel, which I have put as a link. But I don't maintain a curated email list like you do.
Right.
But it is a very, very important strategy. Like I follow lots of YouTube educators.
Yes.
Think Media podcast, which is
I know Think Media. Podcast. Think Media is for real YouTubers like you. I'm just like a guy talking in front of the camera. But Think Media, they're all about video quality. Do it like this, right? But if people want to get in touch with you, can they get in touch with you? Can they know how to get in touch? Okay, that's good.
Yeah. So I put my email. I have an email. It's there on the channel. Anybody can get in touch with me. Yeah.
Well, I know you're about to become very busy, but as a consultant. But if you are looking to change the one thing you want to change your channel, I think that E is really important. Email is because sort of people watch your YouTube channel, they go away. But the people you can contact, because sometimes people want to do a consultation with you. They might want to, you might want to email, like our YouTube channel went live and within 3 months we're at 1,000. It's not because I'm very handsome. It's not because I'm shouting in front of the YouTube channel or dancing. It's because we already had an email list that we are building. We built for the last 4 months and all that. And we just told them, oh yeah, if you want video, go there. And then they landed there. So email list, okay. I'll give you a score because you know it, and at least, but that might be something will help you set up. It's not a difficult thing to do, even if you create your first 1,000. Let's go to the next level. I think you are doing marvelously well in this one. You is unfair advantage. So an area where you're already good in, you didn't really need to train. You're already, because of your background and your experience. So how are you applying your unfair advantage to your YouTube channel?
So there are two things. One is my career as a doctor, and you just talk about training and all MRCP exams. So that's the basic strategy of my channel.
Sorry, can I stop you there for a minute? Because we're about to rush over something important. So that's not just anything. You are a specialist doctor. And you've worked in 2 continents, 2 countries, and you've written some really difficult exams, because some people don't realize how hard MRCP. So for those of you that are non-medical, MRCP, Dr. Paul here is a member of the Royal College of Physicians, which is the baseline exam he even did before he started his higher training. So that's one unfair advantage. So let's look at the other rest.
Yeah, so and also my background from being from India. So because I've trained in India, worked in India, so that's a good way of connecting with Indian audience.
Absolutely.
Because I could be talking about UK, but if I've never worked in India, you can never have that connect. So that I would say my most unfair advantage.
That is very huge. I mean, your background is one and your training is the other. Because I look at your channel and I see something like CRORE, CRORE, and I know it's a currency for measuring money. And does that strike any Do you know? I see your channel. I see you're talking about money, but you're not talking about pounds, and you're not talking about rupees. It's like 1,000 rupees is equal to a crore.
Yeah.
What? How is it called? Is it crore or am I missing the spelling?
So rupees.
Yeah, rupees.
Oh, okay. It's called crore. Okay, okay. I get it.
Crore.
So
yeah.
Crore is it's not the currency. It's the amount of money.
Is it like is it 1,000 or?
So 100,000.
Yes.
Let me make it clear. So in India, our the way we do the numbering is 1,000.
1,000.
Then more than 100,000 is called 1 lakh. So 100,000 is 1 lakh.
Lakh. Yeah. I hear people talk about lakh and crore. I have no idea what they're saying. In my investors group, I hear people say, I make 1 lakh, 1 crore.
And 100 lakh is 1 crore.
100 lakhs is 1 crore. Okay.
1 crore. So the way we Indians think is when you are a crorepati, so that means when you have 1 crore as your net wealth, you are considered rich.
Oh, okay. Because 100 lakh is 1 crore. And how many rupees make 1 lakh?
100,000.
100,000 rupees make 1 lakh. And so for you
100 lakh.
Oh, right. If I still remember my arithmetic now, we are looking at 10 million rupees. Make 10 million. I mean, if you have 1 million of anything, you're rich.
Yeah.
Even if it's 1 million books.
The show, the TV show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yes.
So when that went to India, it was called Kaun Banega Crorepati. So who will be a crorepati?
Oh.
So that's how we see crore. Okay. So
all right. See, this is a master class. I watched Slumdog Millionaire, but they didn't teach me anything. But here, Dr. Suman Paul is teaching me. Yeah, thank you for that. So we've looked at your niche, which is doctors, mostly from Southeast Asia, and now most of them are UK. Looked at your email list strategy, so we can talk about how to set up an email list for you, so you can make announcements. You don't even have to be like me. I send a weekly newsletter. I don't miss it. Every week I send a newsletter on finance or what's happening. But in your case, you can just say, I've released a new YouTube video, and that will be, you start building your list. Maybe the next thing will be, if you want to know when I release a new YouTube, you can subscribe here, or you can also get my list, or I can even send you the 7 key things I think every new IMG doctor who is going into training and wants to go into medicine, because somebody going into medicine wants to know. That can be your, what we call, lead magnet. So that would be what you put on offer, so that you can attract your core people. Of course, it has to be really good for people to even be interested. Then your unfair advantage, we talked about it. Now let's talk a big one. We've already started touching it. Our revenue strategy. And obviously, you're one of the few content creators that monetized. I know a lot of people, they either get to 1,000, they get fatigued. I'm sure there are many people that get monetized. So one of your revenue strategies, obviously, YouTube platform pay. How is that? Is that enough to justify the amount of effort you put in, or?
Not the platform pay. Even with my following, I get something between 35 to 40 pound a month. So that's YouTube revenue is not enough.
That's pitiful. I mean, given the quality of videos you put out and the amount of following, so that goes to say, this is why I stress on the NEURO framework. Unless you're looking for 5 million views or 5 million, wow, 30 to 40 a month, that wouldn't be enough even for you to buy 1 hour of your time, unfortunately.
No. So that's why you need to learn about other ways of earning revenue. And probably the way I treat my YouTube channel, this is my business. This is my shop. I mean, that's how I look at it.
It is a business, Dr. Suman. It is a business. You're spending hours on it. But what are the revenue strategies that you are looking at or you're already implementing? And then maybe we'll look at what else we can suggest.
Yeah. So the main money comes from brand sponsorships. That's the main money. Because So brands are always looking for genuine content creators.
Yes.
They are not looking for the most polished videos. Now,
No.
this is something that I'm learning now. And so there are big brands from US whom I've worked with.
Yes.
So they are not looking for the best quality videos.
No.
They are looking for someone who is doing genuine work,
real
and
content,
who resonates with the viewers.
Absolutely.
So they have a way of monitoring that. They look at the comments, because you can see someone with 100,000 subscriber and there are 2 comments on a video. So there is a way of judging where people are interested in.
Yes.
And that's what the brands value very much.
Brand sponsorship. That's true, because the days of when people just have like 5 million, these days some brands want to get bang. They want to get bang for their bucks. They want to maybe sponsor people that have 20,000, 10,000, and maybe they'll sponsor 100 rather than sponsor somebody that has 5 million, mentions them, doesn't connect with the audience. Because now you've got 14,000, and those 14,000, they feel a certain level of connection to you compared to when you have 14 million. If you have 14 million, so brand sponsorship. So we said platform, brand sponsorship. That's a good one. And what sort of brands would you usually expect to sponsor? Is it like you can't do pharmaceuticals in the UK? Is it educational?
So 100% of my sponsorship come from finance. 100%.
Finance? Really?
Yes.
Really?
So I have only one non-finance sponsor. That was a health product, medical device that I did. A blood pressure, 24/7 blood pressure, as a like a Fitbit watch, which does the blood pressure. So that was the first non-finance sponsorship that I got. It was a Swiss company. But apart from that, that's one of the reasons that I slowly started moving away from doing MRCP and FLAB and those videos. That my videos are earning from finance. I'm getting sponsorship from finance. So I should double down on that.
That is responding to data. That's what data. You saw where the data is going, and that's part of how to sort of like be a data-driven business, isn't it? Because you're running a business. Yeah,
and this is something that you learn along the journey. Like, of course, when I did my first video, I had no idea. My first brand sponsorship was a Nigerian company.
Really?
So I was around 5,000 subs then. And they approached me, and they had a remittance platform, so money transfer. So they were established between UK to Nigeria, but they were trying to do the UK to India as well, and that's why they got in touch. And
that is amazing.
It was a very successful
really
sponsorship.
You weren't looking for them; they found you on your YouTube channel.
They approached me.
I love that, because basically it means you're not depending on platform income, which is really, because people say, oh, you'll be making money from the views. I'm like, really? That's not what I'm thinking about. That's not what I'm worried about. Let's say if a brand approached you now, obviously you charged, then you were 5,000, now you're 14,000. What's the typical charge? Or does the brand just tell you what they're going to pay? Do you have like a charge rate or that you charge the brand?
They do ask for the tariff card. I mean, I don't have that, but basically, like, if you are around, let's say, 10 to 20,000 mark of subscribers, then they most likely they will offer you an affiliate option. So
they'll give you a link.
They'll give you a link out, and you earn money per conversion. So it typically is between, if you're doing a US brand or a UK brand, it's something between 20 to 30 pound per conversion.
Okay,
that's the usual rate.
That's better, because if you get one conversion, it's better than all the platform you get. You see, there's something. I think Diary of a CEO. He said for his podcast, he approached one company and asked them to sponsor the whole podcast. It probably must have been a huge sponsorship. They must have sort of like given him, and now he's an investor in the company. Well, we'll get to that level. As for now, we're happy with the brand sponsorships. So brand
sponsorships are really good because they give you upfront money. Like, I recently got one that was probably my first one. So I did for a mutual fund company. Mutual fund is the fund like we have in UK.
I know mutual funds.
So this is a platform based in US. So they are a startup in the US. So they were doing mutual fund investment in India for non-resident Indians. So let's say I'm in UK, I want to invest in Indian mutual fund. So they created a platform.
Wow.
So they approached me.
So you see your MRCP videos attracted NRI. So this all works out well, because if you started out to say you started out in finance, maybe it might not attract the same people. I started out in finance because I've been in finance. That's why that's what I talk about, and but you started out with this different audience, but they also have financial needs, and suddenly it's bringing you a sponsor all the way from US who are targeting India. I think that's a fantastic one. Yeah. Okay, let's move on for brand sponsorships. I'm sure that at some level you probably get brands that will give you quite a bit of money and not just affiliate if you carry on the way you're going. Do you have any other income strategies you've thought about?
So another good way of making money is to develop your own business and link it with your YouTube channel. I mean, similar to what you do, your services.
Yes, that's a good one as well. I recommend. Yeah. So do you have any plans?
I have a friend. I have a website with one of my friends, Vivor, who manages it. He's an emergency medicine doctor. So we both run that website. So basically, it's a 1:1 service.
Yes.
Anyone who wants to come to UK,
one-on-one consultation. Absolutely.
We do that.
Right. So what if for instance, I said, Dr. Suman, I've looked at your videos. You've got 100. How many videos do you have there now? You've got like 100.
I think more than 120.
That is amazing. So I've looked at 120. I can't look at all of them. I want 1 hour, because people do this all the time. They say, I want 1 hour. I've got someone inherited about £500,000 recently, and she said that I'm a registrar. She's a surgical registrar. I don't have any time to read through your blogs and everything. I want 60 minutes. I want you to put me through. I want to know what to do. And of course, this is not professional financial advice, but if you were the one who had this money, what would you do? And then we lay out, and everything is already available on the channel. But some people say, I want to talk to you, Dr. Suman. And at first I said, no, I don't do that. I don't do one-on-one. It's a waste of money. And then some people get a bit upset. They think you're being arrogant. And then I throw out the figure and they say, yeah, I'll do it. So maybe my figure
makes perfect sense. You are spending your time and you are sharing your knowledge. I think that makes perfect sense.
Now, if you're listening to this channel, let's say you're an IMG and maybe you're thinking, should I go into MRCP, whatever, and you wanted to talk to somebody who has gone through the process, you head over to Dr. Suman's channel and check for the link in the description. Think whether you need to book a one-on-one call. I'm sure that it's going to be much cheaper than speaking to me. How much do you charge for a call?
So all our clients have been Indian as of now. So
so you charge them in crores and lakhs.
In not close yet, but we charge like £100 an hour.
£100 an hour. Fair enough. That for the value, I think it's quite a good shortcut. I mean, I'm happy to pay to get like some quick insights rather than. I mean, I'm happy to do the work, but sometimes just one small information from somebody can save you from really costly financial mistakes, like people not knowing that they could miss out on ISA and all that stuff, and missing out on £10,000, £20,000, which is more than many people are earning in a month. So that's a fantastic one. So we're still in revenue now. We looked at your niche, we looked at your email list, which we're going to have to work on. We looked at your unfair advantage, which is 100%. We looked at your revenues, and I think you're crushing it. You're even going to do better when you have your email list, because then you can use it to promote whatever product you have. So your revenue stream, we looked at platform income, which is like just enough to pay for your web hosting. And then we looked at brand sponsorship, which is surprisingly coming from US and other places. And then you looked at your business, actually, because that's your business, like one-on-one coaching, one-on-one, if somebody wanted. And do you have any other revenue streams? Because I'm hoping to suggest some.
Yes, I think I probably missed the most consistent one. So now this is something, again, unless I was on YouTube, I wouldn't have had this. So one of the company from India, it was an education company, similar to Past Test that we have, Past Test in the UK.
Yes.
So they wanted to start their MRCP course. They had a running MRCOG program.
Yes.
So it's quite popular MRCOG program for more than 5 years.
All
and
right.
they approached me last year, and they offered me a job.
A job?
They appointed me as a course director for the MRCP program.
Oh, wow.
And it was, it's a lot of managerial stuff mainly. So basically, I had to develop their whole course. I had a free hand.
Oh, wow.
They also, so I was also on the payroll, so it was a salary as well, monthly salary.
Okay.
And
that's plus, nice.
Plus performance linked. So I used to do, if I develop content for them, I get paid for that. If I do classes for them, I get paid for that. So everything was activity linked plus a salary as a course director. And I started last year January, and we have in last 1 year we have launched. I built a team. Develop the whole course structure. So as of now, we have MRCP Part 1, Part 2, and PACES course. The PACES physical course is not yet started.
Yes, understand
which we will start. Apart from that, we have everything online course. And this was a great learning experience, more than the management courses that we do in our NHS training. So this was the best management experience that you could learn by actually doing it.
Because you're dealing with real life. You're dealing with real...
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. So you're telling me from just starting a YouTube channel, you pick up your phone, you record a video. From there, you're building a business, you're building revenue, but you're also, more importantly, developing skills that are useful. Like you talk about talking in front of a camera. I know you sent me a video recently to collaborate on one of my videos going live soon, and I knew that not everyone will be able to get it in. Like all the people I talked to are doctors, and they were able to just pick up a phone, do it. Not everybody, they wonder about lighting, but I knew that if I told you, you knew exactly what to do. So these skills could actually come into presentation skills, sharing your ideas. But look where it's landed you as a co-director of a course. I think next time, if I was negotiating that deal for you, I'll ask for equity. I said, I want a little bit of a company, but it's not a bad deal. You've got a salary as well.
No, they do give equity options as well.
Equity options, okay. Maybe that will be the next level. So we've looked at revenue. I didn't realize we are going to spend the most time in our revenue, but that's great, because that you need to get some money to make it worth your while. So you're talking about brand, platform, brand, your business, which is your one-on-one coaching, and then you talk about this sort of like a co-director, which is a bit like I would say is that you're also a brand personality for them, but you're not just a brand. You're not just like a smiling, beautiful face. You're also helping them develop operational, because your unique experience, having done the MRCP, it comes in. I'm sure they're paying you reasonably well, but I suspect they're underpaying you. And if they are watching this video, I suggest they think about how to increase your compensation. All right.
And also, one of the world's most well-known MRCP brands, they also approached me recently to develop videos for them. So they are developing a separate product. It's a brand based in UK. Everybody knows that brand. So it's probably the world's most renowned MRCP brand. So they approached me to develop a course for them, a remote course for them, and it will be a co-branded course. It didn't work out eventually because I'm already on a payroll for a company, so I can't do that. It's a conflict of interest.
It's a conflict of interest. Wow. That's amazing. For the fact that you're getting those sort of inbound leads in the first place is fantastic, because if they can come, that means another group can also come. Yeah. Exactly. Wow. That's really quite brilliant. There's some, you already have multiple revenue streams. There are a few more. People might suggest maybe developing things like memberships, but memberships can be quite time consuming. They're quite hard work. Except you're doing it really high ticket. For instance, if you had like a mastermind, you had like 10 people, but your audience most times are not like tech entrepreneurs. Most of them are like doctors, and they might not be able to pay the amount of money involved.
Students as well.
Lots of students. Of course, there are other revenue streams in the future. Like for instance, you have have a lot of products with other people, but launching your own products, it might be like manuals, guidelines, and all that stuff. These are things to books. Actually, these are things to look at. And but I think you're doing really well. I think we should give you 100 or 100, 10 over 10 when it comes to revenue, because your head is in the right place. You're thinking about it in the right direction. In fact, there's no end to sort of collaboration. Like when I get approached on money-wise, people always ask me, what would you like to do? What do you want to do? You want to do a course and all that? I'm like, course is nice, but what I want is, if I had like a partner, and I've interviewed quite a few people building out softwares, and they think, oh, we can partner with you, but they don't really have something really appealing to me. But if you had like a partner, you build out a software around what you're doing, and then you get equity in it, then you can promote it. That way you have equity in it. So I don't want a salary, I want equity. But I think it's really fantastic what you're doing. The last one is O. So we've gone from NEURO. You're doing pretty well, and I'll say most doctors and healthcare professionals I see creating content, they're just focusing on getting a fantastic video. And look, you don't even have an editing team. You don't even edit. You don't have like professional editor. You're already doing this much already. So let's look at O. O is other people. Other people's time, other people's money, is looking at collaborations, just like we're doing a collaboration here today. We're doing some people leverage collaborations, they work with organizations. I think you've already mentioned some collaborations you're doing, working with other organizations, which is fantastic. So do you have any other sort of collaborations or other ways you're looking at,
I think, it's just brand collaborations and collaboration with creators like you. I've had few videos with some other specialty doctors like gynecology, emergency medicine. So that's all I do. But just for the channel, I'm on my own. So no one else.
Right. Of course. But collaboration is not necessarily coming to sit together. It might be putting on an event, developing a product. Sometimes there's joint email list, because sometimes people who have similar email list to you, they come together and say, email my list and I'll email your list. If your email lists are about the same size, there's all sorts of collaborations. There are collaborations where we do a video together, and then that video goes on your channel, goes on my channel. Sometimes people might also use the same video to cut shorts. And I think you're already doing quite well as well with looking at collaborations. I can say you are a neuro content creator. You're moving in the right direction. But there's one big question. I mean, I know we're going to go like half an hour. Now we're 49 minutes. I never really have any podcast that less than an hour. Because I'm always interviewing interesting and fascinating people. There's one key question: time. I know what it's like. I mean, I'm a GP in the UK. I've worked in medicine. I've worked in psych. I've worked in medicine and taking breaks from medicine. Obviously, now I'm not employed in any job in particular, but I know how the system works. How on earth, Dr. Suman Paul, are you getting the time to do your job as a registrar? Assume you're in your consultant interview now. So we found your videos. They are fascinating. You've got about 120 videos. How do you create the time to do that? And in addition, pass all your exams, sign off for your ARCP. How do you create that time? Because that's a big factor.
Yes, and it is difficult because the only thing that pulls me back is my time limitation. Because I can create an email list. I know that's important. Why can't I do it? Because I don't have time.
Time.
And one of the reasons was that for respiratory medicine, I did my training in India. So I did my postgrad training in India.
All right.
So when I was a trainee here, I was not really learning. So I knew the basics already. So for me, it was just a service.
You were just working. You were not learning. You were just working.
Exactly. I was just spending my time because I was not learning chest rate. I knew chest rate. I was not learning bronchoscopy. I knew bronchoscopy.
Yes.
So the effort in my work was, of course, the time, hours, those things were there.
Yes.
But from the mental effort point of view, I didn't have to do as much effort as any other trainee would do. And that's probably a reason that I still wanted to learn new skills.
Yes.
That, of course, in my job I can do new things, but of course I can develop some other skills in some other areas, and that's one of the underlying reason for doing this YouTube. That at least I'm learning something new.
Absolutely. You're learning content, you're learning business, you're learning strategy, you're learning management, you're managing a team and all that. And I'm sure a lot of time great things in life don't always follow one path. They you find yourself doing this, doing that, then it all comes together. And then another key question, there's been a lot about YouTube health, and it's all the rave, and there's been all that. And I think it's fantastic what YouTube health is doing. But I noticed that even though you are a highly qualified medical doctor, you're not focusing too much on health content. Is it that there are enough people already doing it, or you just talk about it all day long and you think, well, I want to talk about something else?
Well, this is something I think all the time, because I actually attended one of YouTube Health launch event in London.
Oh, you did? Yeah, you told me.
I did, yeah.
And then you did a post about it, didn't you? You did a video.
Yes, I did a LinkedIn post.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, to be honest, my best skill is respiratory medicine. I mean, there is no doubt about it. I would give out of 10, I would give myself 9 on 10 as a respiratory physician.
I'll make it 10.
Probably 4 or
compared to me.
Probably 4 or 5 as a YouTuber, because my skills as a respiratory physician are much better than anything else I do in my life. And
they've taken so many years to develop, and you spend so many hours doing it, yeah?
Exactly. So if I want to share my expertise, it's going to be respiratory medicine. So I'm not a finance expert. I learned finance because I have to manage my money, but I'm not an expert. But the real expert is I'm a respiratory physician. That's my expertise.
Yes.
The reason I didn't do it is, one is that all this GMC, and I can't talk about asthma without talking about asthma patients. I can't talk about COPD without talking about COPD patients.
Yes.
Because that's my job. I do that all the time. I'm not someone who's read 5 journals and making a video on COPD.
No.
I am seeing patient every day, day in and out. And it's quite possible I might talk about some kind of patient identified character, not the name, but maybe some rare presentation of a disease which came to my hospital. So I don't want to get into anything to do with GMC. So just stay out of health, because I can't tell you a good story about a patient without sharing about their diagnosis, why the diagnosis is special. So those things are integral part of any doctor-to-doctor conversation.
I understand. I think I understand your point, and to be fair, it's really hard. I'll call it risk management. Managing your risk, and most doctors obviously create content online as well. Maybe they don't go into talk about patient identification. They don't talk about specific patient data, but in your case, you've chosen to. In my case, obviously, I'm a doctor, and I've been a doctor for going to 14 years now. Some years I took a break and ran a business or social entrepreneurship and all that, but I qualified almost 14 years ago now. But I talk about medicine when I'm in medicine, when I'm with patients, and then I enjoy practicing when I have the choice to come and go if I want to work one day a week. But I talk about finance all the time, and part of why I started Money Wife Doctor was because my wife didn't want to hear more of it. She said, maybe go out and write a blog, and you're spending 2 hours talking to doctors. People call you all the time. So I'm trying to do this. I'm not really sure, and that's why. But the blog has turned into a podcast, and now suddenly she's seeing me again on video. But that's a really interesting point you made. So basically, if there was no GMC risk, or if there was carte blanche, say you can create content and all that, and you shouldn't be liable or whatever, I'm not saying that's gonna happen, but would you be attracted to create content in respiratory medicine?
Again, probably not. The reason for that is, how will I get my revenue?
Exactly.
So I can't ask an inhaler company to sponsor my video.
No.
I can't ask any form of sponsorship from anything to do with pharmaceutical.
No.
So what's in it for me? I can't even ask the patient to, I'm a COPD expert, come and see me. I can't even tell that.
You've clearly thought about these things. I mean, we've discussed it before, but I like that you clearly, because unfortunately, maybe because I was an entrepreneur as a teenager, investor as a teenager, and then later on became an entrepreneur in my early 20s before I even became a doctor. So I tend to think about things from that. What's the end game? I'm not saying everything has to have an end game. I'm sure you're doing a lot of things for charity for free and all that. But if you're doing it as a business, what's the end game? Unfortunately, a lot of doctors and healthcare professionals, they create content and it's great. And they go to events like, yay, you're creating great content. But there's no real strategy in place. There's no neuro frameworks, what I call CFS. So content financial strategy is not in place. But I think you've got your you're thinking about it from the right direction, because if you create amazing content about how to do bronchoscopy, I'm not going to watch it. I don't know who's going to watch it. It's probably going to be your fellow specialist, and then you couldn't actually even monetize it. But for instance, if you're a dermatologist, and I say this to dermatologists or aesthetics or skin specialists, you can actually do a content-driven marketing without marketing. Because then you can actually demonstrate what you do or teach people how to keep their skin better or do stuff like that. And your neuro framework you might end up attracting more patients because you're not telling them to come and see you. But obviously, if you've done your work properly, put all the links, people know how to find you. And then the next thing might be that your revenue strategy might end up being partnering with a cosmetic developer or something along that line. And then, so it's just sort of, there are many ways to skin this cat, but the most important thing is to understand that platform fees are a bit annoying. I mean, I hear people think, I can't wait to get to revenue from platform, but it's not really that much, is it? Unless you have, maybe YouTube will not let this video go viral because we're talking about the truth about it.
But to talk about respiratory medicine, a much better, rather than doing YouTube, a much better revenue stream is just be a speaker for a pharma company. So in one speaking assignment, I will make twice the money that my YouTube channel makes in a year. Just 1 hour of talk. So,
absolutely.
I mean, that's much better. Why should I spend my time on YouTube? I'll just speak for a company as a panel speaker for them. It's legal. Absolutely. It's ethical. I should do that.
And you're talking to the right audience. And you know what? You don't need a thumbnail for that. You don't need to.
I don't need a thumbnail. Exactly.
You just pick your mic and talk based on your knowledge. Wow, Dr. Paul, Suman, it's been such an amazing. I'll say, how many minutes have we been? Almost an hour now. It's been an amazing hour. I'm sure we'll probably have a lot more to talk about, a lot more collaborations and all that to discuss.
Yes.
But hopefully I should be able to help you to set up your email list in a way that you can gradually grow it in a way it doesn't take your time. Before you go, obviously before I ask where people can find you, I just want to share what I tend to do. Because obviously I've got Holistic Dimension, I've got a Money Wise Doctor, I've got Baby Bump, which is e-commerce, I've got like about 60 domains that people don't know about. I've got Paris 2024 Olympics.co.uk and a few other platforms like that. So, but how I look at time is so limited, and even if I don't have a full-time job and I work when I want, but it's easy to get trapped. So I look at things from the 80-20. I'm sure you know 80-20 principle. Pareto's principle. They named it after an Italian, maybe agriculturist or economist. So you're thinking now, you've got this neuro framework thing. You could spend the next 1 hour designing a video and creating a video, and that's fine. It will help blow your channel, but you already have 156 video. But if you think, I'm going to spend the next 1 hour figuring out an email list, knowing that what that's going to do is that it's going to complete your neuro framework, and that also means that in the future, the money is in the list. The money is in the list. If you have a list of 50,000 doctors, 100,000 doctors, 1,000 doctors, let's say you had a company, I wanted to buy it. Part of the things I want to know is, how can I reach your customers? Do you have a way to contact them and all that? So think about that. And I think other than that, you're doing a fantastic job. I'm really, really quite impressed by what you've managed to accomplish in just 3 short years, really. And and also the channel, the value is provided. Well, do you have any last words you want to give to MoneyWise Doctor channel viewers and subscribers before we tell people where to find you?
Thank you, Andy. So it's a really great advice about email list, and I have heard about it a lot of time, and that's why it's been said so many times in the best of the YouTube education channels. So
Yes.
I understand what you're saying, and I agree that this is a very important step to build up any following in any way possible.
Yes.
And you are doing a great job because it's a fact that as community, we doctors have a very poor financial literacy. And
Yes, that's true.
And to any doctor working in the UK, when you have your induction or when you attend BMA events, so the finance company is setting up stall there, ask them how much money they are charging. There is a company, very common, you will see that. So they charge 3.3%, 3% upfront for any investment. They are charging that fine.
I didn't know we're going there, but now that you've mentioned it, I think unfortunately, I think it's exploitative in a way to frame it as financial education, and then some of them say it's free, but at the end of the day, maybe when you get into the pension, because I had to turn down many of them who have approached me to be on the channel. When you check the exit fees, you get into the pension is free, but if you're going out, they charge you 2% and all that. Yeah, well, you obviously know what is happening, and you're seeing.
The fun fact is, they are still getting clients.
Yes,
that's the amazing thing. Like, the people who are signing up to them, do they even not ask, is that a reasonable fee?
No.
And these are consultants, these are rich people, they are earning more than £100,000 a year, they are still going for this kind of products. And that's where MoneyWise Doctor comes in.
Yeah, thank you for that. Actually, that's the whole mission of MoneyWise Doctor. But a lot of times people don't know any better. They don't know their options. And because a big Royal College or a big medical association has backed these people, and we don't know why they've backed them, obviously, but a lot of these financial advisors, they are restricted financial advisors. They are not independent financial advisors, so they can only sell you certain products. And what's the benchmark for the advice they give? But unfortunately, most doctors, like I did a video, I said, or I released a post today, and I said the plumber who is a millionaire has far more. You saw that was from January Ask Me Anything event. A plumber who is a millionaire has far more financial management skills than a doctor who's a millionaire. And a neurosurgeon commented on my post. He's a very brilliant neurosurgeon, because a neurosurgeon can get paid 700,000, 800,000, can get, especially in the US, and become a millionaire, but they still might not have learned basic financial stuff like how to invest, how to manage your money, and all that. So thank you very much. You obviously are in the 1%, I would say, of doctors who are thinking of these things very carefully. But now, very important, if you're watching, I want you to listen, because Dr. Suman is going to tell us how you can find him, find his channel. He has more experience in creating a YouTube channel. I've just been writing stuff and now taking the things I've been writing and saying it into video. But he's relatively an OG compared to me. So where can we find you? Where's your YouTube channel and where's your website?
I have a YouTube channel on that's my name, Suman Paul. That's if you search that, and the logo is my photograph, so that's my channel. We have the website Med Solution UK. Basically, if you go to my channel, on my profile page of YouTube, all the relevant links are provided. I work with few finance companies like InvestENgine. I'm one of their affiliate partners, so I do regular videos for InvestENgine. And trust me, it's difficult. Finance industry, doing videos for finance industry is very, very difficult. They review every video before it gets published. They make me write all sorts of disclaimers, and it's a legal requirement.
It sounds stressful.
Very stressful.
Is it what the money? It sounds a bit stressful to me.
Well, it's just a few for the thing is now I know. So whatever they suggested in my first video, I just put all the disclaimer. But finance marketing for finance company is very, very regulated.
Yes.
If you are doing it for an FCA regulated company. So if you see genuine videos and is sponsored by the company, we can't be saying rubbish. We have to be very legitimate. Otherwise, we won't get sponsorship. As simple as that.
Wow, it's very serious. Yeah. So Suman Paul, I'll put the links in the description. You can check it out there. Thank you so much, Dr. Suman Paul, and congratulations on passing your ARCP. Hopefully, the next time I see you is going to be Dr. Suman Paul, consultant respiratory physician. Thank you for joining us on MoneyWise Doctor. Now, for those of you who are watching, if you like to get more videos like this, head over to MoneyWise Doctor YouTube channel if you're not watching it on YouTube, and click the subscribe button. And if you would like to get some free downloads, for instance, you're thinking about how to buy your first house and you need some step-by-step free guide on how to do that, I've got a detailed guide based on my own experience of buying the first one, the second one, of buying property in the UK. It can help you to do it. Or if you're also thinking about how to claim your tax relief, as Dr. Suman here has mentioned, most times doctors were not even aware of what is available for us. If you're thinking of how to claim your tax relief as a doctor on professional expenses, there's a free step-by-step guide with screenshots of how I did it myself that can help you claim several thousands of pounds. So check the links in the description, and of course, check out Dr. Suman Paul on YouTube. Thank you for joining us, and bye-bye.
Bye.